Welcome back to our final game of day 2 at this border battle here at Peter Hallman Ballpark. I'm Natalie Stoberman, joined by John Evans, and we have one of the matchups that people have been waiting for. Team Canada versus the USA Futures. And the USA Futures are coming off a great win against Team USA in the game right before this one. And here we go. Brad Carlson is leading off for the Futures with a stand-up single to lead off the game.
Looks like the Futures are starting off where they left off in that last exciting U.S. senior game.
That was exciting. They mercied the senior national team. We were not expecting that at the slightest. We were actually expecting a home run fest, but not just one-sided, on both sides. It seemed to stun the senior national team.
Yeah, they weren't certainly happy about the outcome of that one, but 14-14 going in the 5th inning, and the Futures left no doubt of who was the better team in that game.
That's right. They put the nail in the coffin. One of the guys that helped do that, Jeff Flood, gets his first home run of this game. That's a 2-run shot for the Futures here. Team Canada down a 2 spot already with 2 batters up. But at the same time, this is a team that needs to bounce back and put the Futures in their place to get ready for the border battle happening tomorrow for the men's side at 6, the women's side at 4.
Yeah, for sure. Team Canada is going to look for a good result here. The Futures are going to be on a high. Shannon Smith continues his hot home run streak.
That's right. Shannon Smith has been on an absolute tear. At the end of the game, just before this one against the senior national U.S. team, they wouldn't even pitch to him.
No, they didn't. They knew the power bat and wanted to put pressure on someone else, and turned out not to be the proper call. As the Futures did go on to mercy the senior squad at that point.
Yes, there was a bit of an error on the field by choosing to walk Shannon Smith with the mercy rule very close to being in effect. They made it work, and just like Chris Parr made it work by knocking the ball down and getting Eric Canopy, the catcher, out in a very difficult play that he was able to make. He has the entire field to himself. He had no help. The infielders were so far deep into the outfield. He had to make that play himself, and he did it very athletically. He
did, yeah. I think Chris would have liked to make it a little bit easier on himself by keeping that ball in the glove. It did spin away from him there, but a play he normally makes fairly sure-handedly. But when those balls get hit back at you that hit in front of the plate, there's so much different spins on them. You don't know how they're going to spin off the ground.
That's true, and there's a one-hopper to Curtis Nebel. He gets it done. There's the second out of the half inning here for Team Canada.
Very sure-handed Curtis Nebel, a player for the Toronto Orioles, plays all over the diamond for that team, from shortstop to the 5-man that he plays a lot of, very adaptable to second, and he plays a little bit of outfield.
Travis Houseman, the center fielder, lining it right to Parr. He gets 2 of the 3 outs that he needed in this half inning. And there goes Canada to their dugout, trying to make up for a 3-0 deficit already in the top of the first.
Yeah, I think Canada's going to want to answer here. They're going to want to build. They've been building the entire tournament. Scoring runs, they've been able to score quite a bit. They scored around 30 against OC on the back diamond. I think OC came out on the positive side of that game with a little late push, but I think they scored 29, and they've been able to put up good numbers, 27 earlier today, as well as but they put up 26 on the first day, of course being rained out last night against the Futures for this game that's being moved here.
That's right. Rain has been a bit of an issue, but not since really last night, where we did get a bit of a torrential downpour that happened to cancel our very last game of the night. But today has been absolutely spectacular. Now the clouds have cleared during the day. It was nice and partly cloudy. It wasn't too hot. There was a bit of a breeze. Some showers in between, but it did not ruin or change any of the games that we saw today. It was great baseball weather, and now we get to play with a beautiful sunset.
Yeah, the U.S. Futures team stuck with the same lineup that proved to be successful against the senior team. They're going with the exact same one. Coach Grant Garrett of Team Canada has made a few changes to his lineup. I think he's still looking for the ultimate lineup for him going into Sunday. Jeff Zanoli is one of the gentlemen he's kept here at the top of the lineup. His first 4 guys seem to be kind of locked into their positions, and he's played with the lineup a little bit after that, but we'll throw it over to Natalie to get us started here for the bottom of the first for Canada.
Thank you very much, Jeff. The middle infielder, Jeff Zanoli. There's a line shot to center field to Travis Houseman. And that's one way the Maple Leafs can get started. Nice and easy. Just get on base.
Yeah, that's what they're going to have to do here. You saw the U.S. team futures there at the first. They hit a lot of ground balls. I think they were looking to hit the spaces. They wanted to maximize their home run. We've talked about, we'll harp on it again, somewhere between 25 and 30 runs is the
magic
goal.
Number. And here's Colin Andrews, the shortstop, taking the first pitch here. That magic number is 30, and we saw that. I asked you what makes it the magic number, and you just said perfectly, frankly, that is just what people need to win, what teams need to win, and the Futures were able to do that by making it 29. And looking at Colin Andrews, there's a 2-run shot. So much for that 3-0 lead on the Futures side. Canada back in it, 3-2, none out. And he unloaded on that one with a 3-1 count.
I think he reached a little bit for it. Knowing Colin and that swing when he goes to that side of the park, he's certainly looking to hit a line drive into a gap and may have reached for it a little bit to create that loft.
And here's Steele Lewis, number 19, the center fielder for the Maple Leafs.
Certainly Steele Lewis, Canada's best hitter, most powerful hitter.
I'm calling that powerful. That was a line drive off the mesh, still playable. He walks into second base, getting on for his teammates to hit him in. That's team player.
Yep, Steele will know a lot of these American guys. He applies his trade mostly in the U.S. We've been robbed of the ability to see him up here playing in Canada, but he's certainly playing with the elite every weekend and shows himself quite well down south of the border.
That's great to hear that. The development in the game and being able to cross borders to really improve the game to bring it back to Canada. Here's Justin Pinnell, the right fielder for Canada. Runner in scoring position, none out. He takes the walk.
There's one of those little small errors, mental errors maybe within the game. So little between these teams, these elite teams that we've seen. Those walks are gifts. Almost as most of the coaches might be yelling at their pitchers, like, stop giving away gifts. Canada's got to capitalize on these situations.
And Jeff Andrews is in a position where he can capitalize. He finds the gap in left center. There goes Steele. He rounds third. Here comes Pinnell, not far behind. He rounds third as well, and he's going to dive right in. No throw. There's 2 runs for Canada on a 2-run RBI double from Jeff Andrews, the first baseman. Talk about capitalizing.
Yeah, for sure. That was a great swing by Jeff. The thought process there might be for the 3-run homer. Might be the easiest swing of there. He went for that gap the other way, and a nice good team swing and keeping that momentum going here for their side.
Here we go. Niebel up to bat, the second baseman.
Yeah, Curtis, for my money, outside of Steele Lewis, by far one of our best hitters in Canada.
Oof. There's a rip right there. Another home run for Canada. You weren't joking when you meant that, weren't you?
No, he is. But if there's such a thing as a man crush, I certainly have one on him. He went through one of our biggest tournaments here in Ontario, the Elimination Championship, to determine Ontario champion, and went the entire weekend without getting out, which is phenomenal over a 4 or 5 game program.
Holy moly! And he put a man crush on that ball too.
He crushed that one for sure.
Here comes Kyle Nechtel, one of the outfielders for the Canadian side here, playing in left.
Kyle's known as having one of the best eyes in the game in Canada and works a lot of walks. He's so long, has lots of leverage, long legs, long arms. He really works that right side of the field.
That's difficult to do, but it's great to have in your arsenal.
It is, yes, for sure, especially, when you're trying to minimize home runs and those mistake swings on pull. You might be trying to hit that line drive down the line, but, you're talking fractions of inches difference between a home run and a line drive.
And that's a no-doubter line drive right up the middle. It makes it out to Travis Houseman real quick because it was hit so hard, and for someone that can wait and have the discipline to hit it to the right side and utilize that right field corner, he hit it up the middle with ease.
Yeah, when Kyle's in that line drive swing, there's no one better. He's got that fantastic cut spin on that ball and really chops down on it and hits the ball from gap to gap.
And it all comes down to bat angle as well to create those different spins that work for your favor too. And here's Ron Nadalin, the EH tonight for Canada.
I think Ron's a very important hitter in this lineup.
Pop up easy. Easy fly ball for Brad Carlson in right.
He can make a real difference. He's a veteran. He's been Canadian Championships MVP over the years, won numerous MVPs. Nice, consistent outfielder, hitter, and I think can make a real difference. Could be the difference between a championship win or not.
There's Dave Goulet putting an absolute hurting on that ball, but Ryan McClanahan didn't even flinch.
Didn't move, threw the glove up, caught it, threw it back to the pitcher. Okay, next one.
Next one. See if he can hit it harder next time. I don't think you can.
I'm not going to bet that you would.
Oh, dear. Here we got Dustin McLaughlin.
Here's what we see here
pardon me.
with the futures and the defensive depth of the infielders.
I see that ball. Doesn't look like it's going to stay fair, but that was a crushed one.
Playing really deep. They have that force at second that they can do, so they don't have a long throw across the diamond. Can take a few steps back. All three of the defenders are, a solid 15, 16, maybe 18 feet on the grass.
That's right, and they have 2 outs to play with. May as well utilize that force, but not much you can do when you hit it out of the park. Hello, McLaughlin. There's a 2-run shot for you.
I think Team Canada is going to be happy with this. The futures are coming off a big win against the seniors, and Canada running away and hiding a little bit here is going to shift a little bit of pressure. And the futures aren't going to be nervous at all.
Not at all. I think they got the game they wanted already by beating the U.S. national team.
That could be a little let down, so give them a reason maybe to be even more let down and put up a big number and make it, maybe just get through the night, have some fun, and get out of here. But I'm sure they have a lot of pride and they're going to want to win this game, and there'd be nothing better than putting these 2 big wins under their belt. Exactly.
A win from Canada and a win from Team USA. And Chris Parr is able to leg out an infield single. Brian McBride couldn't keep the ball in his glove, but at least he was able to stop it and slow it down.
I think Farron Miller also got his feet tangled up a little bit. I'm not sure even if McBride came up with that ball, if he would be able to get the out. I'm not sure Farron Miller was going to get over there in time anyway.
Either way, there's a runner on first base and 2 out for Canada for Zanoli.
Jeff Zanoli, longtime border battle player. His brother's also on the squad, Josh Zanoli. He's been a coach and is now a player. Sneaks a strike in there. Jeff was hoping it hit the plate there for a ball.
It's quite possible. And looking at Farron Miller, he's definitely picking up the pace and gets the backwards K on Zanoli. Walking off the field with swagger, too. I like that. He's got style. But Canada does their damage. 8-3 after 2 innings of play. We'll be right back after these messages.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We had a bit of a rough start to the season. Mom! So it was time to update Dylan's gear. Kahunaverse.com had it all, including equipment and our team's custom clothing. Looking playoff ready, Dylan.
From prospect to pro, Kahunaverse.com.
Welcome back. We're at the top of the 2nd inning. Team Canada putting on a hurting on the futures in that 1st inning. There we have a shot of Chris Parr, the starting pitcher for Team Canada. He's hoping to keep the 8-3 lead that they've built up after an inning of play. And it brings up Adam Ussery, the second baseman for the Futures here.
Adam had a first great game against the U.S. team. Most of these hitters had a good game early on. Curtis goes to the backhand.
And there's that chopper through the middle part of the field that you were talking about that the Futures like to utilize because it buys them time to leg out that play at first.
Yeah, we picked up on that in the U.S. game. Luis Reyes started pinching in much closer, and we kind of pieced it together to take away maybe that stuff. We saw a lot of downward chop swings, looking to leg out some infield singles.
And here's Brett Rettenmeyer. That's going to be foul. A long foul, if you ask me.
Justin Pinnell with the long run over there to collect that ball.
For that long foul.
Long foul.
Long throw.
See if Brett goes back after him and hope he tired him out a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt it, though. The outfielders have a lot of energy.
They do.
To burn because they have they got a lot of range to cover here. This is a big outfield. Here we go. Parr coming back. Same spot. Pinnell chasing down that line drive, and he's making the throw to the cutoff, but they let it through to second base. He slides right in there. No contest. He knew right off the bat off the ball off the bat that Rettenmeyer would be going to second on that. And here's McClanahan, the third baseman, making already a stellar play on Team Canada.
Yeah, see if his hands are still ringing after.
Ooh, great diving grab. Not much you can do about that, but just controlling the ball. At least he kept it in the infield. Curtis Niebel, great defensive play out there.
Yeah, Curtis is one of the guys that really utilizes the depth thing to his advantage. That ball's hitting the perfect spot. If he's in tight, it's 2 runs score. So that's kind of the best case scenario on that, the ball hit like that.
That brings up the pitcher, Farron Miller. So we've got runners on the corners here with none out.
Farron, I think, is looking as well to that right field line. He's moving his feet around a little bit. I think you're going to see him pull that back foot out and try and slice something.
Yeah, he's definitely dancing in the box. I wonder if there's any relay from Goulet to Pinnell in right field. But he takes the walk this time.
A little bit deep there. As we talked about in that last game, the U.S. guys trying to understand the strike zone. Another Canadian umpire behind the plate for this one, and they're trying to understand his strike zone early in the game.
There we go, a line shot to Brian McBride. From Brian McBride, Kyle Nechtel able to make a sliding grab to keep that in front of him and get the out. 1-run scores for Team USA Futures, but it also keeps the force at third base for Team Canada.
That's a good play by Kyle. He noticed that ball was going to be dipping, whether it was knuckling or not. You could see him aggressively attack that ball, catch it, pull it off the turf, and hold the forces here.
Yes, and he had a great jump on it. He knew that it was going to be short. He did not take that step back, which we've seen today. You have to respect the power from both sides, and sometimes it's just second nature to go back thinking that it will make its way over, just like it just made it over. Brad Carlson. Another home run on the day for Carlson.
Yeah, I think he was going at that and going for that 3-run shot. That was almost a straight uppercut swing, get it up in that jet stream and take his chances. But as we had talked about before, you use up whatever homers you have to get to a tie game. You can't win a game if you aren't ever in front.
That's true, and we're tied at 8. Both teams have utilized 3 home runs out of their 10.
Jeff Flood.
Jeff Flood up at the dish.
Heads up, security guard.
Hey, nobody's safe on that right field line today.
No, there's been a lot going right at that red tent out there. Seen a lot of people under it at some point, but most have vacated that area.
There it is. There's a shot to shortstop. Makes the easy throw to first base. Flood, no chance.
Yeah, I think the 5-man Jeff Zanoli cut in front of Colin Andrews there to make the play.
That's right. They are loading up on the left side with the middle infielder. Shannon Smith now up to bat. Very Very, he's up in the box here, and he rips it to the right side. Pinnell with the play, keeping it in front.
We're going to turn you into a slow pitch fan sooner or later. I'm glad you picked up on that. I was about to mention that he was up about 2 feet when he normally is. Generally, when a player does that, they're looking to change the height of the ball. That strike that normally comes across maybe in their middle of their stomachs, now at their chest, and they can hit the ball the other way a little easier.
Interesting. Oh,
this
wow.
ball's coming back.
That curve back, that was an incredible spin to be able to do that from a righty.
I thought the people standing by the light standard were going to take it in the forehead, and the thing knuckled all the way back about 30 feet.
Me too. I would have flinched so hard if I was standing against the fence on the
Dove under
right
the
side of
picnic
the field.
tables and wondering where the ball was.
Exactly. Bombs are coming down.
I think you're going to see Chris Parr try and keep the pitch inside here to Eric and see if he can induce another swing.
There we go. We're seeing a staggering starting from first to second to Pinnell as he's running over to the opposite side. He cannot make the grab.
It's going to bounce out of play for a double.
Ground rule double for Eric Canopy. And what a difficult play to make. That ball was tailing so far away from Pinnell, and he's trying to run to his throwing side, so he has a little bit of a disadvantage as the right fielder running towards center field. Not much you can do about that.
Yeah, for sure. That even the best jump possible, I don't think anyone's going to get to that ball.
No, but the ground rule double may be a blessing in disguise, but not anymore. No chance on that. Jordan Spalding knew it as soon as the ball came off of his bat. He turned and went straight to the dugout. That's a 3-run shot for Team USA Futures, and they pull ahead 11-8. Incredible. No lead is safe in this game.
Now an 8-run inning so far. We've seen they're quite capable of these big innings as they finished off the senior team with a 15-run inning in the game prior to this.
And it's like they have more juice in the tank. Uh-oh. Can't hold on to it. Jeff Andrews, and then they throw it away.
Travis Houseman didn't advance on the throwaway. That's one of those ones you might just want to hold on to the ball that we've spoken about a few times, but your adrenaline's so high, you're angry you didn't make the play. It's a split-second decision. You see the ball there, you attack it. You want to make amends for what happened previous.
Here comes the second baseman, Adam Ussery, asking about the strike zone in this game as well.
Yeah, the strike zone might be slightly different than Sandy's.
And here's a line shot, center field. Hasn't even hit the ground yet, and we all know that was a home run. Make it 2 more for the Futures.
I think we've noticed very quickly with this team when they get going, you have to do something to stop them early on. Hopefully other teams are picking up on that for tomorrow's games, that when these guys get on a roll, you got to figure out how to change things up. Whether it's a pitcher change, slow something down, change your infielders or outfielders. And these are all clean base hits. There's not much you can do. But you have to break up the rhythm and the momentum somehow.
Calling time to tie your shoelace, that's not even undone.
Yeah, something like that, some sort of veteran move. At the same time, too, the guys on defense are just itching to get in. These are long innings. You've seen the length of some of the innings here. They can be quite short and
quite long, like this long ball from McClanahan off the fence. Runner is going to be safe at home. McClanahan gets an RBI double off the mesh. Incredible. And now the Futures have shifted from scoring off of home runs to scoring off of line drives here, because they've used up 5 out of their 10 home runs.
Yeah, I think Coach Grant Garrett has picked up on the momentum shifts and stuff like that and taken a walk out to maybe take a deep breath. Farron Miller, the pitcher, is the next hitter. Grant heading out there, probably just tell the guys, relax here. I know you guys are doing your thing, but we got to make the play when we have an opportunity. I know that ball was hit hard at Andrews, but he'll tell anyone here in the park that he's got to make that play. on a game like this.
And there haven't been too many opportunities for the USA Futures to swing at bad pitches. Chris Parr has been very consistent with where he's throwing the ball, and I haven't noticed too many varieties of shake-ups with balls and throwing off timing or spinning the ball differently to try and get the Futures to bite at the pitches that he wants them to go after.
He's played around here a little bit. Now he's towing the rubber right at the back. Now going away from that, stepping to the side of the rubber, maybe trying to mix some stuff up there, some angles. There's not much you can do as a pitcher. You are throwing the ball underhand.
And this is Team USA Futures. They know what to do. It's just about any pitch thrown at them. There's another run scored. McClanahan has to take off his hat. He's running so fast. I don't know how the hat fits under all that hair anyways.
No, there's a good set of hair there. But certainly I think Hunter Platten of Team Canada will win that hair battle. Hopefully we get to see him at some point.
We need a side-by-side. Great dive by Chris Nebel. Just can't make it there. And the Futures have runners on first and second with none out. Then the rally continues.
I don't think you're going to see Grant wait around here too long. Goulet behind the plate's also a pitcher. It can be a quick swap of putting Chris at catcher and moving David Goulet to the mound. They also have picked up, for you guys at home, Kyle Randers from the Kahunaverse East team is being added to the Team Canada roster for this game.
There's a shot. Brad Carlson unloads from the left side of the field. There's the Futures' sixth home run so far this game. It's only the second inning.
Second home run for Brad Carlson, back-to-back at bats with home runs. Jeff Floyd hit a home run earlier in the first inning.
Jeff Flood with the bases cleared, clean slate. Looking to get on base. Will that stay fair? Yes, it does, and it rolls and rolls to the fence. Flood makes his way to second, eases up. No play for Team Canada there.
The extra hitter, number 25, Shannon Smith.
Yeah, there's been a few impressive innings here tonight by this Futures team.
And here comes Shannon Smith, a hitter that no pitcher would want to face at this point this tournament. He is red hot. This ball in the same spot to Kyle Nechtel. Flood easily scores. Smith slides into second base. He is moving. The beard isn't stopping him on the base paths.
No. He focused right out of the box there and was hustling the whole way around. Another big inning for the Futures.
That's right. It's all about having the energy in the tank to keep it going, and they are not done, especially after getting the big win. Some teams might fold in the tent and have the mentality that they won the big game already. But no, Team USA Futures wants the win.
All of this again with 2 out. That third out is proving to be difficult.
Canopy with 2 strikes and 2 balls now after that foul to the left side.
Chris Parr is going to look to want to shut it down here. It's going to be important for Team Canada to take a breath, slow things down, understand it's a race to 30.
Futures are almost there.
That's going to be a foul out.
And there's Canopy getting the third out for Team Canada here. 19-8 for the Futures going into the bottom of the second inning. Canada's in a bit of a hole now, but not because of any errors of any kind, just because the Futures have been able to string home runs and base hits and gappers very strategically and almost like clockwork.
Yeah, they took advantage of one miscue there by Dustin at first base that would have got him out of that inning, and threw up a good 6 or 7 afterwards to throw up a total of 16 in that inning.
16 runs. That's incredible.
Tops the 15 that they had needed to walk off the senior team earlier tonight. We got to remember Team Canada had a very successful first inning. They're not going to have to get all 16 of those back right away. Another 8-run spot would be quite acceptable. I think everyone would accept that.
But then the pressure is on them to put a 0 on the board for the futures once they go back up to bat.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of the pressure they might be thinking too is we got to get 11 runs anyway to get to the lead, and we've already hit 3 homers. So they want to try and get those 11 if they can by not using more than 3 home runs and not waste any of them. A good part of their lineup as we're at the number 2 hole hitter.
There we go. Steele Lewis, one of the best hitters in Canada, according to. Nope, Steele Lewis is on deck.
You got to recognize the hair. Look at that.
I know. I
hair, too.
was so mesmerized on it when he
hair.
was on deck, thinking that he was going in. But it's Colin Andrews leading off for Canada, the shortstop.
Home run is first at bat.
Takes a ball, 3-1 count. Takes the 3-pitch walk. Now comes Steele Lewis.
Center fielder number 19, Steele Lewis.
Another one of those walks. A walk earlier in the game to Justin Pinnell proved to be costly as he scored on a Curtis Niebel home run.
And it might be costly with Steele Lewis up to bat. There's a no-brainer. Oh, off the mesh.
It's going to fall down and roll down that mesh for a ground rule double.
And Team Canada will take that. That puts runners in scoring position on second and third for Justin Pinnell. Either a base knock or a home run should do it for Canada to get back on the board.
I think that was very fortunate for Canada to hit the mesh there. As much as you want the 2-run homer, it saved the home run. It set the inning up nicely. Just to hit just the top part of that mesh. I think you ask anyone in the dugout, they'll be happy with that result. You always want to score runs, but you'd like to be selective in how you score your runs.
That's true because home runs are a premium in this game. There's Pinnell with a gapper to the right center lane, and he slides in with a double, scoring both runs here. Team Canada chipping away slowly but surely.
That's a big swing for Justin Pinnell to follow Steele Lewis's swing there with the base knock. Knocks 2 of them in. You can see the confidence level on the Team Canada bench. Everyone just exhaled a little bit, took a deeper breath, and just said, okay, we're back, we're good. Certainly can't be ashamed of scoring 10 runs here. Nobody out in the second inning. So basically through 1 inning they've scored 10 runs, and don't realize what you're chasing. Don't worry about the 9 that's in front of you. Just worry about getting a hit.
That's right, and that brings up Jeff Andrews, the first baseman.
That ball's
Will
down.
that drop? Yes, it will. No play.
I think Dustin let Farron off the hook a little bit. Farron seems to be struggling a little bit here in the second inning. I think that pitch kind of faded in a little bit to Dustin. I think you can see with the result, tried to pull his hands in there and a little pop-up down the line. Fortunate for it to go foul.
There's a shot. Andrews. Will it stay or will it go? She gone.
That is your best one of the night.
Thank you so much. There's a 2-run shot for Andrews. There we go. Team Canada back at it again. 19-12 for the Maple Leafs here. They're not going down without a fight.
No, they're making a statement here. They're not going to go away, and good on them. That's, as we talked about, this weekend's a build, and they're building to that final result of Sunday night.
That's right. We may be nice, but we are fierce. Curtis Niebel popping up to Adam Ussery. Easy out. That's the first one of the inning for the Futures. Probably they're having a collective sigh of relief as well to get one out, knocked out here after scoring a handful of runs by the Maple Leafs here.
I think there'll be a big deep breath on that Future side. Curtis will probably be well known to that side as well, and to get him out, it's not a regular occurrence.
And here's Kyle Nachtel, the left fielder, chopping it through the middle side of the infield, taking a page out of the Futures book here to get a single. Keep this rally going. Get on base and score.
Yeah, Kyle's really good at that stuff. He sees the openings, and like we said, right, you don't have to put your best swing on it, but you put the right swing. and hopefully good results. Ron Nadelin here is going to look to rebound from his first at bat. All the confidence in the world here that he's going to hit something to the right side through that gap.
Yep, there we go. You called it, John. And Kyle Nechtel is on his horse. He's making it to third easily, but they're throwing back to see if they can get him out, and they do. They get him out at first base. Nadelin with a great hit, but still can't find a way to stay safe. He gets pushed off, and they put the tag on him. Let's have a look at that again.
We're going to look at a replay here. I don't think...
So Nadelin turns the corner, heads up play defense from the Futures. There may have been a slight push to push Nadelin off the base with the throw, but it did not seem intentional.
Yeah, I think Ronnie backpedaling there wasn't really finding the bag. When he did hit the top of the bag, I think his foot slid over. I think it might have been the right call. I don't know how you saw it there, but I don't. Ron certainly didn't have foot contact, and if that was the case, he had to touch it with his hand. I think the tag snuck in there in time.
Great heads-up defense, knowing that Nadelin may have taken too much of a lead off of first, and not forgetting that runner behind Nechtel, but he scores now. Stand-up single RBI for Dave Goulet.
That's a good at-bat. That's a little bit of controversy out there. You don't see Reg challenge too many calls, find respect for the game and stuff, but when he does come out, he comes out because he believes it. But for that, Mr. Momentum could have really switched gears there, and for Dave Goulet to really bear down and get a base hit there.
That was definitely clutch for Team Canada. Let's see if Team USA Futures can deal with this one. They cannot. Runners are safe at second and first. That was a shot to Brian McBride. The fact that he even kept it in the infield is actually incredible, but it was like a circus out there trying to get control of that ball.
Yeah, it shows you how serious these guys take this game, that you throw your body in there. I don't know if it was a bad hop or you did realize it was going to come up high, but that took a big bite out of him there.
It did. It looked to me like he was preparing for a short hop.
That ball got up there in a hurry as he's swinging that arm to get it loosened up.
Chris Parr, the pitcher, flies out to Carlson. Ends the inning for Canada, but they chipped away. Here we go. Team USA Futures leading 19-13. We've got the bottom of the third, we've got the top of the third inning coming up after these messages. Welcome back. Welcome back. Jordan Spalding leading off for the Futures here in the top of the third inning. USA winning 19-13 so far in this game. Team Canada able to chip away and close out the lead, but the USA Futures have 4 more home runs that they can hit, and 4 more home runs means a lot more runs that they can put up on the board to that magic number of 30.
Yeah, Canada's going to look here for a quick rebound inning and try not to give up any runs.
Ooh.
That one.
What a shot to Colin Andrews there. Not much you can do about that. He was in position, but that ball just had so much force behind it.
I think with it cooling down outside and the sun disappearing, I think that grass might be getting a little wet from the rain we might have received, because it looks like the spin changed a little bit on that ball. It certainly skipped on Colin there.
And now we're noticing also that the ball is picking up speed as it's rolling through the outfield. I think you're right there that the outfield and the grass is a little slick now.
Yeah, seeing a few balls get to the fence a little bit quicker, and watching some of the umpires when they're running down the line are kind of spinning their wheels on their first step, so maybe a little bit of dew raising its head here.
And there's Adam Ussery with a line drive to the right side of the field. That brings one. Houseman will hold. No, he's going. He stopped halfway in between. Made sure if they made the throw to second, he would have had his goose cooked if they threw the ball to third. But he lucked out, and he scored. That's 2 runs for Team USA Futures already.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscue there. I don't think there was some verbalization there. Curtis Nebel with the ball flipped it to the middle of the infield, as Houseman was potentially going to be hung up there between home plate and third.
Chopper to the shortstop. He makes a throw across the diamond. Keeps the runner at second base for the first out of the top of the third.
It's the first time Brett's been out tonight on a nice play by Colin Andrews. A wonderful 6-3 putout.
Yes, classic. Now Ryan McClanahan, the third baseman, takes the first pitch. Surely they want to hit that runner at second in. There's a shot up the middle, like clockwork. Here they come. The Futures are going for it. The throw at the plate is too short. Will they get McClanahan at second? No, they do not. Slides in like Superman, fixing his hat, because, you know, you got to fix the flow.
It's all about looking and feeling good.
Yes, definitely. You have to feel good.
Oh, for sure. Very much happens up in the booth here as well. Feel and look good.
Fixing up the bag. I'm sure the force of that slide may have knocked it out.
Farron Miller here is really dropping his shoulder. I think he's looking to hit it down the line. I think we have some defensive changes too. I see Justin Pinnell out there.
Farron Miller doing work for his own cause here. 2-run shot for the Futures. Make it 24-13.
Yeah, I just noticed here Justin Pinnell has flip-flop maybe with Dustin. Looks like I see the white glove out there in right field, but Justin Pinnell is certainly on the infield now playing first base. The chopper.
There's a chopper. Stayed fair. Will the ball get there? Yes, he gets him out. Amazing play from Ryan McLaughlin. Dustin McLaughlin.
We recaptured ourselves.
Mistakes happen all the time, as long as you correct yourself.
That's
and Dustin
right.
McLaughlin
That's
gets
right.
all the credit for that strong arm and making it to first base in time on a nice pick to the backhand, no doubt.
Yeah, he really planted himself. There was a little slip of that foot, so that grass is causing some problems out there, but he was able to stay upright enough to make a good, strong throw.
There's another shot to the left side. That'll make it down to the corner. Nechtel's trying to cut it off.
Brad Carlson.
Uh-oh. The moisture in the outfield seems to be making the ball wet and hard to grip, because it's not the first overthrow or misthrow that we've seen this game.
I think there's some slightly changing conditions out there. It's a bit of a close-up of the grass there, but I think there's just enough that's changing the dynamics of what the guys started the game feeling out there.
That's true. The game, what it is now, the conditions are nothing like what they were before when we started this game.
Yeah, that sun's gone. The wind's still whipping away, but you can feel the coolness in the air. First time it's been cool up here in the booth all day.
That's true. And here's Jeff Flood. How cool is that? Will it stay fair?
That's going to be a foul out.
And the Futures get themselves out in this situation. They had some insurance, though. They're up 24-13 going into the bottom of the third.
Yeah, 5-run spot. They're moving the board. You're certainly not going to expect another 16-run inning, but 5's another good number. You know, if you average 5 through 7, you're at 35, well above that magic number that we like talking about. So another solid number put up for the Futures on 7 homers. They still have 3 home runs left in the bank here, and continually moving that board on the Team Canada is certainly a goal that they had going into that inning, and it's up to Team Canada here for a response if they want to punch back.
And it's true, and if they do punch back, they have 6 home runs to play with, which is a lot of opportunity knocking at the door for the Maple Leafs here against the Futures, because they can just load up the bases as often as they can, and that 6 home runs, if they can use all of them, that would definitely work in their favor against a heavy-hitting Futures team.
Yep, that would be most ideal. Usually doesn't happen that way too often, the loading of the bases, but if you can work for it, that's the goal. You always, you know, you aim for your goal, and if you happen to fall a little bit short, maybe that 3-run homers, even 6 3-run homers, 18 runs. It's a fantastic number.
That is a fantastic number. Jeff Zanoli, number 10, leading off in the bottom of the 3rd for the Canadians.
You got to feel good. You're the leadoff hitter. This is your 3rd at bat in the 3rd inning.
And there's a line shot.
It's going to get mesh.
All mesh. And Zanoli making his way to 2nd easily. Gotta love those mesh shots.
Yeah, it seems easy to do, eh? You just hit it at the mesh and let it knock back, but such a...
It's a skill. It's
it is
definitely an art.
a skill for sure. Especially with the defenders that are out there. There's someone at some point here, I think tomorrow as the games get more and more important, is going to scale that mesh at some point. We had it in 4 years ago. People making plays off that temporary fencing.
And there's Colin Andrews finding the gap again, hitting the Louisville Slugger sign on the fence. Zanoli scores. Andrews standing up at 2nd base. Canada's back in it.
Great job for Colin there. Home run his first at bat. Took a walk before, now hitting a double. He seems certainly locked in, which is very important when we get to Steele Lewis. Everyone knows. I'll be surprised, or I'll be interested to see how the U.S. pitch to Steele tomorrow.
And here's a shot ripped over to the scoreboard. Ring it up, umps. Another shot for Steele Lewis. 2-run shot for Canada.
Yeah, just touch a base on that again. I think it's you see some of the U.S. coaching staff here still hanging around, probably getting a little bit of scouting notes. Brett's very familiar. Steele actually plays for Brett's team in the U.S., so Brett's very aware of what Steele can do, and I'll be interested tomorrow to see if Team USA is going to let Steele Lewis beat them or make Justin Pinnell, Curtis Niebel, Jeff Andrews, and the crew behind Steele come up with the big swings.
Sounds like keeping friends close by keeping your enemies closer. Pinnell off the dugout on the opposite diamond. There's a solo shot for the right fielder, now first baseman. And now the Canadians have 5 home runs to play with.
I don't think ideal for them. I know they have to scratch back and claw back. Still chasing 7. Using up their home runs a little quicker than I think they want to. But both Steele and Justin weren't going for that. They both were trying to hit line drives. They're just so strong and powerful, that bat angle or the launch angle at any point.
And a great shot from Jeff Andrews, the first baseman, right in the gap on the right side of the field. My correction, they have 4 home runs. Canada has 4 home runs left out of their 10, and it does feel like they're rushing. There's a sense of urgency in this game, but to rush with your home runs may not be the best way to go.
Yeah, it's potentially a little bit of panic, I think, in Team Canada there, but they've regrouped themselves. They know what they have to do, and they have so much confidence in each other. They're just trying to get on for the guy behind them.
That's right, and Curtis Niebel, hard hit ball to McClanahan, and he just picks it out of the dirt like nothing.
That was a fantastic play. He made that look very easy, but that ball was crushed.
Having great reflexes like McClanahan is key to be able to play third base, but positioning was everything. And McClanahan hasn't found a position that's worked for him all game. He always seems to be in the right spot at the right time.
He hasn't been beat too often this weekend. It's a good call on that. Defensive positioning, a lot of that comes with confidence and trust of your ability and
a sixth sense.
a sixth sense. Maybe Farron Miller's tipping him off too, saying, hey, listen, I'm going to keep this guy tight or I'm going to pitch him away, and it allows him an extra step or two.
That's cheating. I'm just kidding.
Or good communication.
That's good communication. It's just how you got to play the game. And here's Kyle Knechtel, the left fielder, taking the walk, playing the game the right way, letting those go by, getting on base for his Canadians. And here comes Nadalin. We've been expecting a little bit more from him this game. He might be able to break out. But first, seems to be a conversation going on between the Canadian coach and the home plate umpire.
Coach Kelly, I think, is going down, and I think asking a question. It looks like the first words out of his mouth, I think he wasn't sure if Farron Miller's coming to a complete stop prior to the pitch, and maybe asking for an illegal pitch or asking home plate umpire to keep an eye on it. Ron Nadalin, base hit last time, had that unfortunate tripping kind of tripping over first base or not getting back in time. And
sure he won't take big rounds around bases anymore.
Get off the mesh.
Off the mesh, and there's Knechtel. He's flying into home.
They're going to send Kyle back to third here. Ground rule double, hit the mesh, rolled down, and fell in behind the steel fencing.
I think he just wanted to run. Let those horses run wild. But he is going back to third because that is the rule, ground rule double. But wait, he's going back to the dugout. He seems to be very confused at this point.
A little bit of confusion here. We know our stuff up here. We called it. I think Team Canada was trying to get that extra run any way they could.
And for good reason. That's just how you have to go
Yes,
about
if you
it.
get that extra run, take it. U.S. futures coaches were all over it as well, not allowing that to happen.
Dave Goulet, foul, just foul. Oh, that would have been lovely for Canada if that stayed fair. Both runs would have come in without any doubts.
Yeah, would have scored two and had a guy at second. I trust Dave here to still have a good swing. We'll see what Farron has up his sleeve.
He lets that one go deep.
Make sure you guys get here if you're thinking about it. Get to the ballpark here tomorrow. There's a whole day of games.
Oh, yeah. McClanahan again with the sixth sense at the right place at the right time. Canada's kicking themselves, leaving two runners on, but that was a great hit from Dave Goulet. Not much you can do about that. McClanahan has just been a vacuum tonight.
Yeah, that was a fantastic spot to be standing in to take that hit away from Dave.
It's like he just knows. Maybe he has a crystal ball in his back pocket.
Holy moly. I certainly didn't anticipate him being that deeper in that position.
And I'd love to see that again because he was also very deep into the outfield, knowing the hitter, Dave Goulet, has a ton of power in that swing. Everyone's getting ready for the pitch, getting set. The ball just flies out. McClanahan, no hesitation. That even turns him around like a top.
Yeah, if Dave were to chop that ball or bounces twice, there's no way he's throwing anybody out. Guys are on second and third. No force bags. So you're right. There's some sort of sixth sense going on right now. He's certainly in a zone. Or taking some chances that are working out for him at this point.
Exactly. When you know, you just know. And it seems like the game is just flowing through him.
24-18, I think we have. Or do you have 17? 24-17. We're just checking with Erica. 24-17 is the score here. We'll get that changed on the graphic on the screen. 24-17 for the futures. Thanks to scorekeeper Erica, who's been on point the entire weekend.
Yes, Erica.
On top of her game, much like Patty De La Rocca and twos.
And here we are, leading off the top of the fourth inning. It's Shannon Smith. Alberto,
yes, we called that one day one and haven't done it at all yet today.
He's the A1 from day one.
A1 from day one.
Putting a hurting on pitches all weekend long, but not today. Not this at bat anyways. Team Canada is able to make the play off of him. Adam Hussey. No, Curtis Niebel.
Making the play there to Justin Pinnell, who got moved to first base.
It's one gone for Canada.
Eric Canopy looking to atone for his foul out, his last at bat for the final out to end the inning.
And there's a shot to the shortstop. Colin Andrews making the throw, and Pinnell with the pick. That's teamwork right there. You got to pick up your other teammates.
Yeah, I think Canada's making a statement here. They're being aggressive here on defense and going after those balls and making the right play, and they want to give themselves a chance to get in the dugout here and answer back as quick as possible.
And here we have Jordan Spalding taking the first pitch. A little bit too deep for him from Chris Barr. Here we go again. Colin Andrews. Again with the pick from Pinnell. They're going for it today. Team Canada going back to the dugout on a high, trailing 24-17 to the Futures. We'll be right back with the bottom of the fourth.
Wow, that was huge.
Welcome back. The bottom of the fourth inning, USA Futures and Team Canada. Team Canada batting now, number 14. Dustin McLaughlin gets on base with a single up the middle. And that's what they need here to get back into this game. They're down 7 here, but 7 doesn't mean too much in the game of slow pitch. They also have 4 home runs remaining and none out so far.
I expect a big push here from Canada. They had that big defensive inning, and they know how important it is.
Big defensive inning might be for the USA Futures, and they're able to turn 2 off. Well, good defense again on the right side of the field. McClanahan we've been raving about, and it looks also that Jeff Flood and Adam Hussey just know where to be able to make a double play here. And there goes Canada's chances. They've got 2 out, and now they have to be spot on.
Yeah, that put Mr. Moe to the back seat here for a second. We'll see if Jeff Zanoli can coax him back out of the closet.
Zanoli, there's a rip. And there we go. Mr. Moe did not show up this inning. The Futures put up a donut on Team Canada here. No runs, 1 hit, a double play and a line out.
Certainly not what they were looking for there. Lots of energy, lots of excitement coming back from that quick defensive play, and the Futures, as they've shown the entire weekend, know when to make the big plays both on defense and offense.
That is true, and they've shown up for all the defensive plays for the most part tonight. The Futures have a lot left in the tank, even after mercying Team USA Senior National Team, and that to me is impressive because they threw everything at them, including the kitchen sink.
They did. Patty won't be able to wash his dishes from all the food he's eaten up here because the kitchen sink is gone. But yeah, no, they left everything on the field and let it all hang out. Let's get them all out. And the Futures were just too much.
They are proving to be a little too much to handle, and they could even distance themselves a little more. They're only 6 runs away from that magic number of 30. And here we have Houseman leading it off for the Futures here. He takes the first pitch, a ball.
We'll see if things hold true here. I expect the Futures to try and put together a big inning.
There it is, and there's a diving grab from Nebel, and Pennell can't. Oh, Pennell can't hold on to it.
Yeah. Heck of a play by Curtis.
Wow. Great defense from both sides, honestly. I can't stress it enough. The offense gets you to the ballpark for slow pitch, but the defense is what gets you off your seat.
Yeah, as much as the big home runs we've seen, there's nothing more impressive than some of the defensive plays we've seen tonight.
And there we go. They're going to turn two, taking a page out of the Futures book.
Play for Team Canada.
Whatever you can do, I can do better. And now there's no runners on for the Canadians. And they've got 2 outs to play with Rettenmeyer, the shortstop for Team USA Futures, up at the dish.
So we see 41 runs kind of through 3.5 innings, and all of a sudden a bunch of outs really fast. This game is quite interesting.
Yes, it is. Woo! Hello, hello.
I think that's Dustin
McLaughlin.
Oh, no, sorry, he's the third baseman. Who was at first? Jeff Andrews, I think, got moved out there.
Jeff Andrews with the clutch diving catch towards the foul line. Let's have a look at that again as he's getting all the high fives from his teammates. Everyone's getting set on the right side of the field. The ball, an absolute rocket, trailing, and he's all over that. That's right. You can play around with that. That was a great play to keep your team in it and keep the Futures off the board.
You would know making those diving catches in the outfield, especially he gave himself a great angle with being a left-handed player out there. He couldn't run straight across, had to kind of do a fade angle in towards the infield to give his, the ability to clear his glove.
And it's impressive. It's impressive that he started at first base and made it out to the outfield later on in the game because the angles are very different. They're very different from infield to outfield. The angles in the infield are a lot more linear towards the ball because you have less time. The outfield, the angles have to be rounded to come through because you have to be able to make your throw as soon as you make the catch or field the ball. So for him to be able to make that looks like an infielder's angle to be able to catch that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Pulling it right off the top of the turf.
And here we got Colin Andrews, the shortstop, who's been flashing the leather this game. He's turning two. He's going to turn it.
I was about to say, don't sleep on getting that ball in. He'll take another bag on you. He's lightning fast.
Lightning. Don't say lightning. We saw that all last night.
We did see lots of lightning.
But we have clear skies tonight. It's a beautiful night here in Kitchener at Peter Hallman Ballpark. And we have a leadoff double from the shortstop, Colin Andrews. That brings up Steele Lewis and a duck in the pond for one of Canada's top hitters. There's a shot up the middle. Can they make the play? Is he off the bag? No, he keeps his foot firmly on the bag. Brian McBride able to hold on to it and get Lewis out. One of the harder players to get out that you've been dishing about Steele Lewis, and he knows these players very well, playing south of the border as well with the Americans here, but he was able to move Andrews over to third.
I don't think that's exactly what Steele wanted. He did I think he was a little bit impatient reach for that ball. It's the right area he wanted to hit the ball, but not with the regular authority that he does.
And they're just trying to shoot it to the right side, giving Hussey a run for his money. Pennell cannot get there in time, even with a slide into the bag. Let's see that again. You see the disappointment in his face. He put everything he had. Great jump out of the box. He almost fell. He was going so fast. Wow.
Yeah, he beat that thing out.
He beat that out.
Yeah.
The hand got in there on the orange bag first.
Yeah, that was not a good call by Ajax's own Bob Smith. Right on the play, that's a tough call to make, but I think it was clear. You don't see it a lot in slow pitch, especially with the safety bag there. Someone sliding in. It's a tough call for the umpire.
It is it's so hard because now you have to hear the ball instead of being able to see it and watch the person touch the bag on the ground. The levels are just too far off. There's too much room for error in that kind of a situation. And you know if someone's diving it to first, it's going to be a close play regardless. And there we go, Canada getting themselves out of the inning. Hopefully that play with Pennell diving in, maybe getting robbed with that call, may have taken the wind out of Canada's sails.
Yeah, it's certainly not what they wanted there.
We have a 24-18 ball game. We're going into the top of the 6th inning. Canada trying to put a goose egg and keep the USA Futures within reach. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, Peter Hallman. Ballpark is buzzing with excitement at this Team Canada, Team USA Futures game. We're at the top of the 6th inning here. Canada down 24-18, and McClanahan, the third baseman, leading off here. Hello, Colin Andrews.
My goodness.
What a grab and what a throw off of the ground here. Let's have a look at that again. I am just so impressed with the defense by both sides here. They are working hard out in the field here. Colin Andrews ready to go. The ball comes out of him on a dodge here, and he gets up so fast. That's so hard to do. You need a lot of strength to get back on your feet so quickly. Colin Andrews, and he was on the lip as well, so he was diving from the grass to the dirt.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable play. The defense is certainly putting a lot of pressure here on the replay crew.
Seems that we have a change.
Pinch hitter, number 5, Logan, will be in for Farron Miller, the pitcher.
They've done that in the last game, taking out Farron Miller against Team USA Senior Men's National Team to put in a pinch hitter, and it worked out well in their favor, and they had the lead.
You want to hear the ultimate jinx? That is 8 consecutive batters out for Team Canada.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen a lot in the game. A walk, I don't think, really breaks it up. I'm talking a hit, but as I'm getting the evil eyes up here in the booth.
You have yet to learn about the broadcast jinx, John.
I don't believe it's real. I think Team Canada is going to shut the door here still.
Do you think ghosts are real?
No. I'm starting to think I should, though.
He might.
Apparently lunar eclipses are real too.
Yes, they are. It's a real thing. I'm not getting into that right now. Back to the game here. Brian McBride, the first baseman, going bottom to top here for the Futures. He lines it through. He puts it down. Wow, great play from Dustin McLaughlin to keep that ball
I
in
think the umpires are, nope, I thought maybe the umpires were pulling themselves together and they may have called the guy out at first for sliding through the bag there, but umpire Mark Gow was just trying to make sure everything was okay.
But let's just talk about McLaughlin's play. He essentially stopped that ball with his wrist. He sacrificed his own body to stop a careening line drive coming right at him, and he was able to keep it in front and get the force at second. Very smart play by the Canadian here, and they're able to get another out. Easy 3 outs, 1, 2, 3 for Team Canada, putting up another donut against the USA Futures here. That's a feather in their cap. Going into the bottom of the 6th, they have the hammer here, and they're only stuck 6.
Yeah, for everything that's gone on here, that is completely through the order. Outs except for the 1 walk for the pinch hitter Logan. For everything that's happened in this game, there's been lots of activity, lots of fun stuff, some good defensive plays, and a few controversial outs at the bags.
No doubt, and non-outs.
And non-outs. This game has been quite interesting. Team Canada has had obviously 3 consecutive outs. They did start the last inning, Colin Andrews with a base hit or a walk at least. We'll see if Team Canada can get things going here.
That's right. They're all out of the dugout, the next 3 hitters, getting their practice swings.
Just want to give a quick shout out to, on one of the back diamonds today, umpire Mark Hegel took a line drive to the body. He did, for some of you guys that are asking, have sent me some messages. We do have a few results. Mark did head in for surgery, and from what we understand, he's come out of surgery and is doing okay. There will be a bit of recovery time for him, but he did take a line drive
to the lower body.
To the lower, we'll say a mid-body to a lower body injury, and we're wishing Mark all the best. We did see here last night Sandy get hit with a one-hopper from Bryson Baker, and so as much as we're pulling for the players, we also are pulling for the umpires here, and they do sustain some injuries, and this is as much of a prestigious event for them to be at as the players.
Of course, Curtis Niebel putting a hurting on that into the next diamond. There's a solo shot for Niebel. 24-19 for Canada here, stuck 5. And that's one way to lead off and send a message to the futures.
Yeah, they had to move the board. Things were quiet here for a bit. Team Canada needed to get going, and that's their first run in a while.
Kyle Nechtel up with that leg kick, that signature lane kick. Rettenmeyer can't hold on to it, but the middle infielders and McClanahan rush to gain control because they know how fast Nechtel is, and he could steal second in a second.
There's those opportunities we talk about, right? They don't happen a lot in a game, but when they happen, you have to take advantage, especially with there's so little to tell between these two teams. The difference is, we're a 24-19 ball game. They're trading punches back and forth, so being able to take advantage of any opportunity can be the difference in a game.
That's true. It's usually whoever blinks first loses. And there's Nadelin. He takes that knuckler in.
I did find, too, that the team that scores the most runs in every game wins as well.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I did a bit of research on that last night. And
you actually did research on that?
I did read some research on it. I just want to be sure of facts.
You wanted to be sure. Well, you have to know your facts when it comes to being a commentator, that's for sure.
Or pretend one.
I think you've been very good so far. You've been exceptional.
Thank you.
Nadelin lines out to the left center gap. Nechtel forced to stay at first. He could not tag up. And now that brings up Dave Goulet.
Only one out here. Canada's got to keep the pressure on the futures.
There's a shot to the fence here. Nechtel could score from here. He's rounding. He's approaching third. Rounding third. He's on his horse. They won't be able to make the play on him. What a speedster. Goulet with the RBI double to put Canada within 4. They've reached the 20s now.
Well, on pace for that 30 magic number that we keep talking about. It looked like the futures was going to run away and hide early in the game, and putting up that big inning of 16 runs in the second. Team Canada's been hanging around the game with some good defense and giving themselves the opportunity to get themselves back in here with the bats.
Here's McLaughlin, who's also been exceptional on the field at third base. And now he takes, thought he was going to take a walk. They called him right back.
See if Farron Miller can take advantage of this.
That's right, here's a full count. Could go either way now. There's a shot. Is that out of here? Oh, yes, it's gone. You can't even see that ball anymore. McLaughlin and Dave Goulet score on a 2-run shot from the third baseman.
It's their 8th home run, 2 left.
2 left. Maybe it's a good idea to save those last 2 for the 7th inning.
Yeah, you'd like to. I think in the ideal world you'd like to, but you do have to get to the lead here somehow. I think you need to put the pressure on the futures to have to hit and score some runs. So getting the lead forces that.
Here we've got Jeff Zanoli. We're back to the top of the order. Oh, Josh Zanoli coming in.
For the pitcher.
For Chris Parr, Jeff's brother. That ball's off the plate. There's a shot, but that will not stay fair. Zanoli taking his time here after. Now he's got a 2-2 count to play with.
Josh is such a strong hitter. I don't think he's too nervous here. He's still going to pick out a pitch. Something he can do with it and continue this rally.
Here it comes. There's a shot to the shortstop. Makes it through. Rettenmeyer and McClanahan. Josh Zanoli reaches safely to first, and here comes brother Jeff.
There's the break again. We
That's
talked
right.
about the break on Kyle Nechtel earlier. We had a hard ball to the shortstop who didn't come up with making the play, has since scored. Another opportunity here.
Timeout called by the Futures. Probably a good time to call it. It's only a 2-run game.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're starting to get at the point of the game now where there's some pressure points and you have to, utilize them. It's part of the game. Calling time, making the hitter think about it. I don't think the Futures coaches want to get into, that little run of Colin Andrews, Steele Lewis, Justin Pinnell, Andrews, Nebel. And they're dangerously close to having to run that gamut. I think they'll take their chances of running that in the 7th. I don't think they want to have to run it in the 6th and the 7th. So they want to grab some outs here and minimize any more damage and get their bats up if they can.
That's right. Now they have to be exceptionally tight on defense here because Canada is basically knocking at the door to blow this thing wide open.
Yeah, and both teams have flashed the defense tonight, so maybe it is a deep breath to say, guys, let's get in a good defensive position here. Let's turn 2 and get out of this thing. And, Jeff is a good, strong, solid pitcher or hitter, and I'm sure he's going to put a good swing on it here.
Here we go. Team Canada only 1 out so far. There's a shot, but that will not stay fair either. Great idea looking for that right field corner, though. That definitely would have been a great run for brother Josh Zanoli from first, perhaps to third, maybe even home.
Yeah, I think if that certainly gets in the corner, you're a double or triple and plating another run for sure.
I applaud Canada for their resiliency in this game because they were down by quite a bit, and now they've come back to a 2-run game and putting the pressure on Team USA Futures here.
Yeah, they've been
Zanoli
really scrappy. It's been a scrappy game by both teams.
popping up, and Josh teasing to see if they'll make the throw to second and perhaps muck up the throw.
Only the second out. Team Canada's going to want to keep rolling here. Coach Reg has made his way out to talk to the umpire here. I'm not sure what move is being made outside of possibly a runner. That is the pitcher's spot in the lineup. So I don't know if they're able to utilize the 2-out runner for the pitcher spot there or not. But that's what it looks like has happened to me, unless they've used a pinch runner. But I think that's Jeff Andrews out there, who's already been in the game.
And there we go. To end the inning, a line out to Hussey. Ends the threat, but Canada's now within 2. The past 2 innings have been great for Canada's defense, putting up zeros against the Futures. Perhaps they could do it again. We'll be right back with the top of the 7th after this. Why did I put Hussey?
Take one empty field, round up a group of players, add 3 bases, plus 1 home plate, throw in a softball, and add an umpire. It's not hard to get a game of softball going, and to keep it going from the time you're 4 till you're 84. Softball. Get in the game.
Water and honey. Welcome back. It's the top of the 7th. The USA Futures leading off with Jeff Flood, who has been dangerous this game, and Canada is trying to protect a 2-run deficit to go into the bottom of the 7th and hopefully catch and surpass the Futures here.
Yeah, here's the race, 1-inning race. It's a close enough game here. Both teams have homers left, 3 for the Futures, 2 for Canada. I would expect them all to empty their toolbox here.
That's right, trying to find the right tool, whatever fits at this point. Jeff Flood trying to take a walk here, and he gets it through the shortstop.
That would have been an unbelievable play, but there was almost like a sigh in the crowd with the expectation of
that they will make
Colin going to come up with that play. He's made so many of them tonight.
We're spoiled.
We have been spoiled in this game for sure. Certainly whetting our appetite to want to see day 3, what day 3 will bring for us.
I know, I can't wait for this border battle. And Shannon Smith can't wait to rip a bomb here. The runners will advance second to first. That was shot.
Yeah, I don't know if it was hit so hard that Jeff Flood couldn't advance, or he lost that ball in the night and thought maybe he was going to get caught.
I don't know. It looked like nobody was nearby, but that ball got to the fence so quickly. It's not like you can get enough steps on it in time.
Yeah, for sure.
Shannon Smith, Eric Canopy now following Smith. And that absolute rocket to the fence. Canopy going the right side now. That is out of here. There's a 3-run shot for the Futures, probably well needed at this point. Now they go up 27-2, and 2 home runs left out of their 10. And they may as well drain them here because it's now or never in the top of the 7th.
G-A-W-N, that ball gone.
Gone. Spalding taking the first pitch. There's another shot. Will it stay or will it go? No, Steele Lewis is there with the catch. 1 out for Canada.
You certainly see the change, I think, here in the Futures team. They're looking to get runs as quick as possible. They don't want to leave any home runs in the bag and then lose this game by a run or 2. So I think they're going to do their best to.
And Travis Houseman, that's a brick house, I tell you. Another solo shot for Team USA Futures. They pull away 28, sticking Canada 6, and there's only 1 out left, and they only have 1 home run to go. Adam Ussery digging in now.
Hit a home run in his second at bat.
The right side, the middle infield seems to be playing deep on Ussery. For good reason, he likes the gaps here. Off the fence. He's hustling to second. He looked like he's going to third here. They bobble it in the outfield. Slides in with a triple on an error. I would love to go and see what the grass is like after this game. I'm very curious because ever since it got dark here in Kitchener, there's been a lot more errors.
Yeah.
There's a shot to the right side.
Ball didn't come up there for Justin.
Pennell can't hold on to it, just slides right underneath his glove, but he was there.
That's one of those in-between ones. You either have to be a little bit closer, I think, and get that thing on a few less hops or be well back.
Exactly, and McClanahan now up after a single from Rettenmeier. And he pops it up. Is it out of play? Yes, it is. Luck's out with that one. He's got one more strike to play with, a 1-2 count. Ball comes in, making sure there's no scratches or scuffs on it. Chris Parr, ready to go. McClanahan takes that one. 2-2 count. 1 out for Team USA with runners. Only 1 runner on first. There's a shot from McClanahan. I can't even see it anymore. Gone into the dark of night. a 2-run shot, and that's all their home runs for the Futures. They pull ahead 31-22, surpassing that magic number.
I was going to say, take a look at that scoreboard. There's that number, right? They're going to be happy with that. If they go on to lose this game, they'll still be happy with that number. Still a lot of work for Team Canada to do.
That is true. There's a foul shot from Miller.
Only one out here, stuck 9.
They put themselves in a good spot.
Yeah, the Futures have done that kind of all day, just kind of moving the needle every time they've had to. They've had 3 kind of clean innings. They've been at...
Wow, great pitch from Park. Gets his opposing pitcher, Farron Miller, looking. And a
Adds
roar
another
from
twist.
the crowd. Yes, a twist in this fable.
It's a great story.
I'd read it
It's
from cover to cover. There's a shot. Pinnell's got it this time. There's 3. Canada has some work to do. Stuck 9 going into the bottom of the 7th. Everybody's up. Everybody's out. High fives all around. Let's get this spark going, says Canada.
Yeah, they're in a good part of their lineup, Natalie. We're talking about Steele Lewis, Justin Pinnell, Jeff Adams. They're going to have to run through the lineup if they're going to win this game, so we'll see what they got for us.
That's right, and they have 2 home runs to play with at this point. It could be very helpful, and it's probably a good thing they did not use those up in the last inning.
I think they'd feel much more comfortable going in with 4 or 5 of them, but 2 is still a good, solid number. They know they have work to do. A couple grand slams is 8, and manufacture a run another way, so.
Yes, the possibilities are endless.
They are endless.
And it's very doable, especially with this part of the lineup out. I wouldn't want anyone else besides Steele Lewis at this point to start a rally here for Canada. That's probably the man they've been looking to all night.
It certainly is. It'll give the whole team a big stoke of confidence if he was able to punch something through the infield here, hit a gap, or rattle it off the fence. Let them know that they're alive and add another little note to a pretty magical day.
That's right, alive and well. The Canadians have been keeping up, no doubt. And this is one that they want to go into Sunday with. Nice W against the Futures to face the senior national team at 4 o'clock tomorrow. That is when the border battle is happening. Sorry, 6 o'clock, and the women's border battle is happening at 4 at Peter Hallman Park. We've had a great show up from fans all weekend so far, and I can't wait to see the Sea of Red tomorrow on Sunday.
Yeah, make sure you wear red if you're heading to the ballpark tomorrow. Lots of games. Games start at 9:30.
Hello, Steele Lewis. I see you in the gap with a single. Get him on, get him over, get him in.
That's all the focus is, right? Each pitch. Yeah, games start tomorrow 9:30, 11 o'clock, 12:30, 2 o'clock, and then, of course, the 2 big games at 4 and 6. Some big teams playing. The Futures bounce back for an early game tomorrow at 9:30.
Hello, Pinnell. That does not stay fair, all the way in the corner of left field. And there is a great lineup of games tomorrow. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And everyone's been waiting for this border battle, and everyone's gotten a taste of the teams playing in it. Team USA getting mercied by the Futures was probably one of the bigger surprises so far this weekend. And, of course, the women's national team from Canada are the defending champs, and they're playing against a different U.S. team that they faced last year in Oklahoma City with about 6 new players. That should be making things interesting for that border battle.
Absolutely, and we've seen all weekend all the U.S. teams here have come with a purpose.
And violence?
Controlled violence.
Controlled
yeah, we're going to go to controlled violence.
Inside joke, everyone. I'm just kidding. But it's true. You have to go out and you have to present yourself on the field, whether you're on defense or you're at the box. You have to have a purpose, and it's almost as if you have to give it everything you got, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah, for sure. These, the 2 games we've seen here, and even the ladies' games before that, they've been some of the best of the weekend, and that's the difference. There's been some real aggression and some real
There's
real
Jeff
passion.
Andrews grounding out.
And your final score, 31-22.
The Futures end it on a double play. They take this one 31-22. What a great way to end their day two, mercying Team Canada, mercying Team USA, and putting Team Canada through the paces as everyone prepares for the border battle tomorrow. Thank you for joining us on a great day here at Peter Hallman Ballpark. We look forward to having you join us again tomorrow. First game starts at 9:30 and the big games are at 4 and 6 for the border battle. Have a great night and see you tomorrow.